Uh, I'd like all of you to keep your audio on mute because, as you know, all our sessions are recorded. So we will begin with the school prayer by Deepti.
O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee feel one with every other.
Thank you, Deepti. And now we will go on to introducing our speaker for the day, Mr. Rai. So I once again request Deepti to kindly introduce our esteemed speaker.
Our esteemed speaker for today is Mr. Saket Rai. Mr. Saket Rai is the founder and CEO of Katabatic Automation Technology Private Limited. Saket brings a unique blend of expertise in both the business and holistic wellness realms. Holding a Bachelor of Commerce from Delhi University and a postgraduate diploma in business management from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, his academic foundation in commerce and management is robust. However, his professional journey takes an intriguing turn with certifications as a clinical hypnotherapist from the Indian Institute of Hypnotherapy, a professional diploma in hypnotherapy from Jackins Hypnosis Academy UK, and an NLP practitioner certification from Headgear Labs UK. Notably, trainers in hypnotherapy, NLP, and clinical hypnotherapy have made significant contributions to both individual and corporate well being. He has trained and awarded certificates to hundreds of students in various hypnotherapy courses, conducted workshops for college students, and delivered corporate training under the program The Subconscious Aspects of Business, where hypnosis takes center stage. Mr. Saket's commitment to holistic wellness extends beyond professional training, as evidenced by his role as the co founder of the Community Healers Social Group, addressing the comprehensive well being of individuals. In addition to his work in hypnotherapy, he is also a Freemason and a member of the Regional Grand Lodge of Northern India, contributing subject matter and technical expertise pro bono. His commitment to education is further demonstrated through his co-founding of the Trahi Foundation, a non-governmental organization supporting the education of students. Saket's diverse skill set, ranging from corporate leadership to holistic wellness, reflects a holistic approach to both personal and professional life. We wish to welcome once again Mr. Saket Rai.
Thank you, Deepti. And now it's over to Mr. Rai. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So what we're going to talk today is about our mind, mastering the subconscious. I think I would be, eligible enough to talk about it from the point of view that, when I've been practicing hypnotherapy for about 20 years now, NLP for another 15, and some energy healing related modality, looked at nonverbal or ancient animal mesmerism based influence techniques, and a lot more. So what's really very important in our life is us understanding our mind, and rather being controlled by our mind, let us be the one which is driving the conscious and the subconscious. So the thing that I'm talking here is this. Take a pause and think of everything that is happening to you at the unconscious level right now. You're breathing. Some of you might blink. Your temperature is then maintained by your body. Your heart is beating. Every second, every day, thousands of body cells are being replaced. Chemical, hormones. And all this is billions of pieces of data every single second. And are we aware of it? Are we consciously managing that is happening inside us? Forget about what's happening outside us. Everything and so much more is happening, and we are not even aware of it mostly. How many times are we aware of our breathing or anything else, the involuntary actions that we do? We definitely are not aware of it. And when we are not aware of it, when we are not conscious of it, we run the patterns that our unconscious is running. So today, the idea is to go through this journey and learn about maybe a thing or two on how we can learn to master the subconscious. Everything that you see right now, even if you're looking at me, different shapes, colors, whether you admire it, see it as a beauty or you don't, the vastness or the smallness is all being processed automatically. Of course, there are frames of references we generate as we grow. So, and if we don't have a scale, it's very, very difficult for us to understand. So, however we might comprehend or however intelligent we would be, it would be very difficult for us to understand how vast the universe is, or how vast our solar system is, or how vast our earth is. But yes, we develop internal scales that we use as our life goes on. So point A to point B is about an hour away. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to travel to a different place. And that's it. So we start measuring things in time. So that's one more belief system, one way of scale getting into our subconscious. Apart from that, anything that you taste, hear, or smell is all part of your subconscious. Now, whether we like it or not, anything that we hear, see, taste, smell, or hear generates an emotion. And that emotion is what we store as part of that experience. So if first time we look at a dog, the dog barks at us, maybe we were a small child, and there's a fear that is being generated because we do not understand, maybe we are afraid of loud noises. That is what we start to remember. And every time that experience is reinforced via our experience or somebody else's experience, that becomes part of subconscious, our subconscious. Most of the time we see, people, there's a lizard on the wall, everybody is going to be making funny faces. Where does that experience come from? It's something very harmless creature. Maybe, if we go look at it, might not look as beautiful by some standards, but definitely that reaction is picked up by our subconscious as we were looking when we were kid, or even if we were grown up, when we watched how people reacted. So what is basically happening in the subconscious part is all your thoughts, even the conscious one is part of the mind. Ideas, imagination is all part of it. Thoughts drive everything. Wherever you focus your thoughts at, you generate energy and you make those things your reality. Because when you think, you derive on your past experiences, and past experiences have certain emotions or no emotions at all. And that would make you feel what you're feeling at a given moment. So we'll explore this a bit. And then we'll get down. I just wanted it to be a little interactive session if you are up to it. Then we'll do certain exercises if you are up to it, and see how our thoughts can create a reality. And what happens is we learn to recognize the patterns that are present in our life and how we can change them really very quickly. Let's go about it. But first, a bit about what our mind is all about. So if we look at this mind, our mind as a whole, psychologists, thinkers have divided it into multiple layers. The topmost layer is the conscious mind, and the conscious mind has a goal to understand. So it's rational, logical thinking, planning, it sets goal for you, knows what you want, and it has short-term memory, not a long-term memory. A critical mind, which has a goal to act as a gatekeeper based on instructions from the subconscious. So anything that goes into subconscious has to go through a critical mind. And critical mind is a rule-based system. So if I'm a vegetarian, if somebody offers me non-veg food, immediately before even going back to the subconscious mind, critical mind would reject that idea and say, nope, not done. For me to ever try that would mean that my critical mind or critical factor has to go down to a level where a new information can go into my subconscious mind and act. Whereas the goal of my subconscious mind is to protect and to be right. Yep. So our semi-automatic systems, our belief of the words, our belief of ourselves, habits, thoughts, emotions, flight and fight and response, traumas, long-term memory, fears, desires, behavior that are protective in our nature are all run from here. Whereas the unconscious mind, the goal is to survive. Very early impressions and instinct responses, forgotten trauma, cellular memory is all part of your unconscious mind. Now, how does our thoughts at subconscious level affect us? They affect our confidence, they affect our fears, they affect our phobias, habits, learning processes, choices, and a lot more. But in short, they create your belief system. Now, how can thoughts affect our reality? If you are up to it, if we can definitely do, let me stop it and stop the sharing for a while. Yes. And let me see if we are up to it. So anybody out here? Yes, I see 3 screens here. So let's, if we are up, Nazarius, Ritu, and Lakshmi Naranji. Yes. Miss Irani. Perfect. We'll do a small experiment. We do that a lot in our hypnosis classes to see how we create a reality. So the first part that we need is focus and attention. So all you need to do is get your hands straight. Yep, please get your hands straight. Clasp them together. Bend as if you're praying. And fingers about an inch apart. About an inch apart. And focus between the fingers. And as you focus between the fingers, notice your fingers would start to come together. The more you focus, the fast you focus, the fingers would start to move together. That's right. And they'll touch. Yep. Don't resist. Don't resist. They will. That's right. That's right. Sooner or later, they'll touch. And why is that happening? Just keep your fingers like this, hand tight, look somewhere else. And the process is going to be very, very slow. But the moment you start focusing at the fingers, between the fingers, your fingers would start moving faster and faster, and they'll touch. So that's the first thing that we'll be underlying today is what we focus on gets amplified. So we have to be very careful of our thoughts, what we're amplifying. The second is how these thoughts create our own reality. Well, we all say that law of attraction, law of manifestation, so many things going around these days. Thoughts create reality, thoughts create reality. But, well, can somebody show you a real example? How do thoughts create reality? So yes, let's do this. Maybe we will see. Again, hands straight, keep them straight. Think you have a magnet here. Think you have a magnet here, about 6 inches apart. And close your eyes and think that the magnet is now attracting both the hands. That's right. Imagine the magnet getting powerful and powerful, powerful and powerful. And your hands would start to move towards each other. That's right. And they'll touch. Eyes closed, hands about 6 to 8 inches apart. Imagine the magnets getting powerful and powerful, powerful and powerful. And the more you can imagine the color of the magnets, the vibrations of the magnet, the faster your hands would move together. That's right. They will. Just imagine more clearly and faster. That's right. That's right. Take a time. And as and when your hand meets, let your mind and body relax. Don't assist, don't resist. They will. You'll feel as if there's something between your hands. You'll feel the magnet. You might feel even the repulsion, but be aware of it. There's nothing more than your imagination here. Yes, that's right. Imagine, and you've done it. That's right. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. The more you do this exercise, the faster this thing would happen, because we have a belief system which is saying this cannot happen. And then suddenly it starts to happen. And when it happens once, again, it's going to be faster. Next time, even more faster. Now, was the magnet there? It was not there. It was simply creation of our thoughts. And that simple creation of a thought, we had some idea what magnet would look like or feel like based on when we have seen magnets working, coming together. And we've heard there's magnetic force. So when we were moving the hands, we could feel something out there. We could feel the magnetic force and the hands finally touched. And that's one reality that we live in. First, focus would amplify. Second, thoughts would tend to create your reality. So be very careful of what you focus on, what you amplify. If anybody has a question till now, I'll take these. Why this happened?
Please unmute yourself and ask your question. I don't
You
think
could have
there are
kept
any
your
questions.
hands like forever. Without imagination, they would not move. Without imagination, you could just keep them, get tired, and bring them back. With imagination, you can see things actually moving. Your physical movement is happening. And we see that in a lot of other areas of life, that where we pick up a lot of subconscious things and we see idiomotor responses. More on that later when we talk about the physiology and the psychology, how they interact with each other. But as of now, let me just share my screen again and share this. So how does it work? It basically works by moving your awareness from conscious to subconscious. Focus is the key. When you focus, when you engage your senses or disable some of them, for this matter, close the eyes, you're bypassing the critical factor, which is acting as a gateway. And then you can reprogram or reframe the subconscious. which basically has a very, very large implication on our life. We don't understand it, but we can create any new habit, any new personality trait, change the old ones, and we can totally become a person that we always wanted to become by just learning to manage our conscious and unconscious or subconscious better. So, since we're talking about mastering, when we master our subconscious, what are the additional benefits? Well, healing through subconscious. Most of the subconscious healing we are aware of is that when you trust a doctor, how many times you've experienced this in a life, we don't relate it. But as a parent, as a child, we have experienced this magic. A child get hurt and the mom will come and say, or give it a kiss and say, no more pain. And voila, no more pain. How did that happen? Because that pain actually vanished. It's no longer there. As we grow, we have these limiting beliefs in our mind, which were not present there as a child, which help us realize that we can, move pain around, we can reduce it, increase it, or simply make it vanish the way we want it to vanish. So, yes, please. You want to ask something? You can ask a question in between also, no issues at all. I've been working with the pain, fears, anxiety, phobias, and it's so interesting to see. I was in Chennai, and at the VM Cancer Hospital, and we were doing a workshop for use of hypnosis in cancer patients. And while I was talking about pain, there was a lady, she said she has a pain, which she's in her ankle for about 5 years now, and she's learned to live with it. And I said, okay, let's do a live demo. Let's work with it. And we started working with it. In about 25 minutes, like she was walking down the room, pressing her ankle and trying to figure out where did the pain go. Did I do something? No. She did, in fact. All we did was helped her reframe how she was looking at the pain. And it was all gone, never to come back again. So what do we do that? How do we do that? A lot of times we are a cricket loving nation. We say this particular person is in flow or is in form. What that form means is a state where you are working at the highest peak performance. That's what you become. And how do you attain that state? You visualize, you hear, you feel, you imagine. And there's a whole saying, act like a king till you actually become a king. So yeah, pretending helps to a certain extent. There was a study done in US on learning basketball. So there was a team of athletes which would practice 2 hours daily. There was a team of athletes who would practice 2 hours extra. And then there was a team which would practice for 2 hours. And then next half an hour, they would only visualize, go through some go through some mindfulness techniques. And when the results were out, the maximum performance increase was the team, which was doing 2 hours, plus the visualization process, not the team which was doing 2 hours plus 2 hours. Defies logic, but that's how our mind, that's how our subconscious works. So when we're talking about healing through subconscious, let's do another exercise. It's going to be a very useful one to manage our state manage how we. So what we're going to do here is learn the fact that we can change our state at our will. And we all do that. We're all aware of it. Like how many times we've done that? Yes, yes, done. Right. Just shut up. Yeah, yeah, no, 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 fine. We do that all the time, right? Simply even split second and we are changing our state. But when it comes to regular day-to-day life, where we don't apply this knowledge knowingly, we fail to do so. If we are angry, we're angry. People who are married, they would know. The quarrel is sorted, but you remain angry for next 3 days. Because the fact is that any heightened emotion that we achieve, whether it's negative or positive, the mind and body would like to be in that state only, because that's much more easier to attain for it. So angry, let's be angry. Much more easier to do so. Let's do a simple exercise. Is what we're going to do and try to understand how we can change our states or emotional state or take something out and never be back at it. So what we're going to do is first take your left hand and imagine you have a TV here. It could be a black and white TV. It could be a color TV, whatever way you like it. And then pick up an emotion, pick up an incident that makes you irritated, angry, or whatever, some negative emotion that it brings about. And I want you to look at it, be there as if it's actually happening. And then tell me what happens. Notice the emotion. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, where exactly the emotion is at. Out fully. Once it's completely out, take the right hand and again a TV, color or black and white. Think of an happy emotion, a joyous emotion, something which is pleasurable, happy, joyous, and bring that emotion out. Perfect. So just look at your left hand, look at your right hand, look at your left hand, quickly switching glances between it. And now what I want to do is take that happy emotion and paste it over that left hand. Imagine as if you're pasting it, as if it's a color which is seeping into that hand. If it's mud, that it's spreading over it, whatever suits you, do that. And once you know that that feeling of happiness has covered that hand completely and fully, remove and then try to go back to that left hand and see what happens. Can you bring that negative emotion out? However hard you try, it would be very difficult to feel the same way. So imagine what is happening here is that there was an event. It had certain emotions attached with that event. And then you have another event which has happy emotions attached with it. Now I'm telling my subconscious that this is a copy paste. The emotions are going into this event, which sounds totally ridiculous. But remember, we talked about our subconscious being irrational. It's not rational. Had it been rational, we could have rationalized everything that is happening in our life. So much easy, give logic, get over with it. No mom will ever fret over this, the kids coming late. Oh no, they're in the right hand, they'll catch the bus, they'll come, nothing bad is going to happen ever. But the subconscious mind doesn't take that shit, it creates its own scenarios. But because we have heard, we have had certain emotions with those feelings that we have, that incidents that we have, and now we are projecting. So when we replace those, it becomes just next to impossible to project another. If you're still feeling that negative emotion, paste again, paste again, paste again, and it would be all gone. It's as simple as that. Another healing exercise that we're going to do is, if anybody has any pain right here, physical or emotional, doesn't matter. You don't have to share where is it. You don't have to tell me what's it about, but we can work on it. Anybody up for a demo?
I just have a question. So you're saying if you keep pasting it, it will disappear? The
Yes,
good will
yes.
overcome the negative?
Depends on what you paste. If you paste negative on the happiness, then the happiness would go away. If you keep pasting happiness on the negative would go away.
So consciously you have to say this is my
No,
positive.
subconscious. You see, whenever you're focusing, so three things. First, we are focusing on an activity. We are present in that moment. And when we are present in that moment, evoke the emotion that is coming out. So that's why we said emotional peak. So we maintain the negative peak first, and then we maintain the positive peak. Now, once we have the positive peak, the mind and the body wants to maintain that positive peak. It doesn't want that negative peak. If we do it other way around, like if we, let's say, I don't want to, like somebody or eat a certain kind of a food, then I'll do anything associated happy with that food, anything negative from anywhere else, and post it, and I'll start disliking that food. It's all about what you're peeking at and what you are copying. And this copy paste is not physically happening. It's something that your subconscious understands from your day-to-day life. That yes, you can copy paste. Yes, you can copy paste. It's aware. So it's taking your instructions as is. The subconscious is literal, takes things in literal sense. In literal sense. And that's what it does. And it shows you again and again. It gets your fingers together, it gets your hands together, it changes the emotion that you are in. So if nobody is having anything to but we'll still do the process, it might help you. Yeah, you have sorry, you muted.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing that I'd like to get rid of.
Okay, perfect. So sorry, Nazaris.
Naz, you can call me Naz.
Naz.
Yeah, easier. Yeah.
Okay, so you have something you want to work with?
Yes, I said there's an emotional thing that I'd like to work with.
Perfect. So you both of you have an emotional thing. We'll work on it, and we'll see how quickly the emotion changes. Right? So let's do this exercise. What I would do is take you through a small exercise where you would be focusing inward. That's the first part. So I hope you are at a place where it's safe to close eyes and breathe in and everything. And make sure that you're not driving or operating a machinery or anything else.
Sure.
So just close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Focus on the sound of my voice. And notice as you focus, the temperature that you breathe in at, the temperature that you exhale the air at. That's right. And notice the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you are. And the more relaxed you are, the deeper you breathe. That's right. Allow yourself to go even deeper. And all you have to do is visualize or pretend that you can visualize. Every one of us has a very strong imagination. Or we can pretend. We can always pretend we are holding something. We can always pretend we're eating something. We do that, right? All the time. For this purpose, all I want you to do is pretend that emotion that you are experiencing it right now. You're going through it. Whatever that emotion is. And we all know that every emotion that we have has a place in the body where it starts from. So I want you to notice where this emotion is starting from. Where exactly do you feel it in your body? And if you can, just touch that place. Physicalize it. Notice. And once you have done that, or you can imagine that you're touching it, if it's at the real back, imagine you're touching it. And as you do so, notice, give it a shape, give it a size, give it a color. That's right. Any color, whatever color comes to your mind is fine. Whatever shape that is fine. But I want you to visualize, imagine, or pretend that you are taking that color out from one hand and keeping it on other hand. Do that. If you can physically do that, perfectly. Else imagine that you're doing that. And notice that every time you move your hand, you'll take some part of that color and move on to the other hand. That's right. Isn't it amazing that you had an emotion? You were able to physicalize that emotion. Now you're able to move that emotion from your whatever body part it is stored in to the hand that you have. And since we are only looking at Naz doing it, we'll follow his example. And Naz, once it's all out, once you've taken all out, just raise your hand and make a ball of it using both hands. So I would know that you've taken all out. Perfect. Notice if the color, the heaviness, the shape has changed. And notice that on the count of 3, you'll be able to make it smaller. 1, 2, 3, compress it and make it smaller. That's right. And one more time, you can make it even smaller. 1, 2, 3. Very, very small. Perfect. Perfect. And on the next count, I'll say 1, 2, 3. You'll imagine you can break it and you'll give in your imagination that one half that you've broken to me. You'll keep the other half. You'll give me one half. 1, 2, 3. Break it and give it to me. That's right. Imagine I'm taking it away from your hand. And then, since I'm in Delhi, you can imagine me driving a car towards Yamuna River. And then I'm throwing it in Yamuna. And as I throw it, this energy no longer controls you, no longer bothers you, no longer troubles you. And you see it flowing down the river, going to the sea, merging in the seas, resting in the sands and vanishing, dissolving, resolving into something useful for Mother Nature. That's right. I come back again. And 1, 2, 3, you'll again break it into 2 and give one half to me. Perfect. And I take it away from you this time. Let's say I go to Goa, catch a ship, go to the middle of the ocean and drop it. As you see it dropping down, the weight, the heaviness going down to the bottom of the seas, getting eradicated there. This no longer bothers you. This no longer troubles you. And one last time, if you really, really want to get rid of this, simply hand over whatever is left to me. And I take it away, far, far away, to a place that you've never seen before, to an ocean that you don't even know exists in your imagination. And I throw it deep down, so deep down that you can't even see it, feel it, hear it, or get connected with it in any way. And now you'll notice that however hard you try, this emotion, this pain is not going to come back. Test it. Try hard. Try to bring it back. And notice that it's left your life for good and it's not going to come back. So be ready to be in this state. Take a deep breath. Now that this energy has left our mind, our body, we need something to fill it, because nature abhors vacuums. Otherwise, it'll fill it with something what it likes. But since we have the option of filling it with love, light, confidence, money, whatever we want, think of it. Think of the thing that you want and give that thing a color. A color. And imagine that mist, that color is all around you. As you breathe in, it fills in your lungs, from lungs to blood. Every cell, every organ is getting filled with that color that you have decided for yourself. Let it fill you. That's right. Every inch, every part connected to this never-ending supply, filling you up. And notice how good you're feeling now. That's right. The thing that you want or wanted is now deep inside you, forever and ever and ever. And the moment, not right now, but in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3, and you'll open your eyes, and you might want to share the experience that you had. 1, 2, 3. Now, open your eyes. Yanaz, would you like to share something?
First of all, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, the pain was deep purple in color, and it was like a pineapple. It was spiky. It was like thorny. That was the shape. It was the size of a pineapple. And then you asked me to, put it in one hand, but I still felt there was lots left over here. So that's why I did it many times. And you said, yeah, take out as much as possible. Then you said, make it into a ball and tiny. So, and then as I was giving it away, I could feel that I'm relaxing a little more. My shoulders were tight. It was straighter, because that's where I felt it, on my shoulder, the burden of that thing. Approximately, I think,
No, that's fine. It could be anywhere. That's the beauty. That's how our mind stores different emotions, different places. It will
So
not be same. Even for the same emotion, it will not be same in every person.
I guess so. So I found that I store a fair amount over there in that region for some reason. Yeah. And then towards the end, when you said we leave it and fill it with another one, it gets quite emotional. You feel very, a sense of relief, but it's like you get tears of joy, that sort of thing. It's a little bit of relief, and you feel good. In a good way, you feel emotional, is what I said. I felt that way.
Yeah, because you release something that you've been holding on for so long, and you simply let go. That's why we say, take something else.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And you've learned this exercise. Use it on others, on yourself, whomsoever you want to.
Yes.
But
Thank
my
you. There's a question in the box. Meher has asked a question. She wants you to repeat the instructions for the previous exercise, the hand.
Okay. We'll do that. No
Thank you,
issues.
sir. Thank you.
But I have a question about this exercise. Can you do it for yourself?
Yeah, you can do it. See, it's always as easy if you want to do it for yourself. It's just the mind block that we have. We sometimes feel that if somebody else is giving the instructions, then it worked. No, did I do anything? The only difficulty that people experience is that it's very difficult for a mind to stay on a single process or thought. So when we're doing it for ourselves, what happens is sometimes we might get distracted and go somewhere else and start doing something else and start thinking. So the easiest part I do is I simply record the instructions for myself and listen my own voice. If you can't do it to yourself. Now I've done this so many times that I can do it in my sleep and get over with it.
Okay, thank you.
And Mehat, what we were talking about, the last exercise, what we did, the basic premise was that a mind body would like to maintain the peak of the emotion that is experienced. And we showcased it by a simple exercise. We said our hand is, there's in the left hand, there's a monitor. Imagine in that TV, whatever event that brings out a negative emotion in you, irritation, fear, anger, whatever. And then we look into it, and then we be there, see what is happening, hear what is happening, and bring the emotions out. And once we bring the emotion out, we look at our right hand, we start to imagine a happy moment, some pleasure, joy. And once that is there, we look at the negative one, we look at the negative, the positive one. It's a breaking the state kind of a thing. And then we copy that happy emotion on the negative one. Imagine it, if it's like oil, water, color, mud, whatever is your mojo, do it, paste it. And then you try going back to this one. It no longer is the same emotion. It's changed to a different emotion. It would either become neutral or it'll become a happier part. Sometimes our mind subconscious blocks it from becoming happier because of whatever reason it does so. But that's it. Both things are possible. And let's continue this journey. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. Now, very important part. Our psychology and physiology is linked together. So, there's very interesting video on YouTube called Power Poses by Amy Cuddy. And if you could look at it, it would be really wonderful. I'll talk a bit about it here. Is that the fact that put your shoulders back, put a smile on your face, and now try getting sad or try getting angry at somebody. It'll be very difficult. Because that pose, that physiology is linked with something else. It's linked with the fact that you're happy, that state is something else. And you have a negative state also, which is like going down, crouching in. And when you like this, it'll be very, very difficult for you to be happy. Think of happy things. So Amy Cuddy in her power poses talk about how to get confidence. This is the pose for it. Look high, hands out. Be there and for a minute or so, and you'll feel confident. That's how every runner or a sportsman does it, right? When going out, head held high, that's a victory pose. Same way, the psychology, if we keep thinking about something negative in a particular state or a situation or a pose or a body shape, it'll get associated with that. And it'll start to trigger that whenever we get into that body shape. Remember that. All in all, our reality is really, really plastic. And once we understand the principle that our thought, a focused attention can really send the energies that the way we wanted to send, we can change, mold things around us that we want to, the way we want to. So if you have anything here. Okay. Oh, we are right in time. So because I thought about 5-10 minutes for questions. And here we are.
So I have a question.
Yes, please.
How come a lot more people can be helped by these techniques, isn't it?
A lot more, a lot more.
So what do you think? It's not that they don't know or it's not popular enough or?
So if you look at India, we already have this in many forms. We call it meditation. But meditation is like going inwards without any tangible result or per se. So we do meditate, but we look at our thoughts and we leave it there. So that's a longer process. In West, US, UK, it's very popular. We either call it creative visualization, and there's a whole manifesting industry, making money out there. Manifestation is nothing but your state control and your focused attention. If you master these two things, if ma'am would allow, probably I'll do a session on that also one of these days.
Yes, hopefully one of these days we will.
And it's so, our mind is so powerful. And the moment we understand, our ancient texts, they all understood it and they gave us a process. But, that was like, get into it, spend few years and master it. And in today's world, the scenario is totally different. We're looking for shortcuts. I, being a lazy guy, I was looking for shortcuts. That's why I, came across these things. So they're very, very quick, very quick. And they give you really good results for long term also. Like I've worked with people who had fears and phobias, 2 sessions gone, like 40 years claustrophobia, can't get into a lift kind of a situation, phobia of water, won't even put a mug over the head and then gone swimming, snorkeling after a single session. So our mind, and I'm saying I've not done anything. It's the person has done what they have done. It's just the way the subconscious is storing the information. We moved certain pieces just the right way and ping out. And my YouTube is by the name of Saket Rai only. It's at the rate Saket Rai.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, Kashmira, go ahead.
Yeah, when we were talking about a physical problem, like if you're getting migraines, can you do the same thing about removing it and throwing it away part by part?
Yeah. There are multiple activities actually, and you can do that.
So on your YouTube, you show some of these things, or
On my YouTube, you even have the full course free. So if you want to learn it, watching it there, you can. But for the benefits of my student, it's all there. And
what was it again? What was it called?
it's at the rate Saket Rai.
Okay. Thank you. I enjoyed your program. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else has a question? Please unmute yourself and ask your question. No? All right, it doesn't look, I think people are reflecting over what you have said, Saket. So that's good. And it really was a very good session, as Kashmira said. And the nicest thing was you took us through a lot of practical exercises, you see. So that was really nice.
Thank you.
So we will now formally close the session and ask Deepti to kindly propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, Deepti.
On behalf of the School of Ancient Wisdom, I heartfully thank Mr. Saket Rai for his insightful talk. I'm sure there are things everyone has gained from it. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors and look forward to your continued association with the school. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. And we look forward to meeting you every Thursday at 6:30. We have different speakers. And if any of you know of any good speakers, kindly let us know and we will invite them for the Thursday talk. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.